Welcome back to X4, and it's time to do a little more station building, aside from getting lots of credits coming in. And I just want to test that theory that, well, hypothesis that a viewer had that you need to wait for all materials to arrive before assigning a builder. I really don't think that'll work, but let's give it a try anyway. So in the map, I've got this mission. It is 8.4 million for the Paranid. Oh, friendly Paranid with all three of their eyes. And it's basically very, very similar. I should also mention we're on the beta 3 batch, by the way, of 1.5. So I will cover some of the improvements that has in just a minute. So let's actually just get this thing off the ground. We need to construct something that's 3x3x5, at the minimum, 5 turrets, etc. So manage plots, new plot. And we want it to be, let's just change this to be 3 by 3 by 5. There we go. Create new plot, and let's just pop it down. And that seems to be fine. Let's just buy a license and continue. Okay, and now we can load our typical plan. 5 turret, 50k storage. Now we can double check and go in and edit here. See, it says assign builder to start construction, so I don't think it'll even start until that happens, but you know, we'll try it anyway. Yeah, so I'm just going to double check just by choosing this again. So 1, 2, 3, and we could even just change those to 2 here. And that should solve the issue. Well, that should basically make sure we've got 6 turrets. We need 5, and we can confirm those changes. So we have really confirmed everything now, and we can manage buy offers. So 1.2 million is what it's going to cost us, and we can give it to 1.3, and then confirm module changes. Now, if I go back in there to this the new station, Trinity Sector 3 factory, I should be able to see whether it's got any buy orders coming in. So plan build. Now, if there was any sort of craft coming out here, we would see them in these 2 windows. We'd see that buy orders were actually done. I haven't seen that yet, so I'm going to leave it a little while, and we'll come back and see if that's the case. If that is not the case, we'll have to assign a builder. Again, if you want to fix it after you assign a builder, just once it's complete or nearly complete, go back in, edit it, add those turrets back in, confirm it, and the builder will redo things and get things fixed. So you can actually do it. I just want to see whether anything will come in before the builder's assigned. I don't think so, but in any case, let's just exit out of there. All right, so just the changes in the beta 2 and 3 patches for version 1.5 then. One of the important ones is they've reverted a previous fix that they put in for ships flying huge curves when going long distances. So that basically means that the ships were getting stuck in beta 1 in like the entrances to places and all kinds of places. That fix has been reverted. It's back to the old behavior, which means they should no longer get stuck. I'm sure they'll come up with something else to fix the original problem, and we'll come back then. A couple of other changes. First of all, they fixed the Xenon and Kaak ships from always having very bad pilots. So maybe they were always on 0-star pilots. So you may find if you are on the beta branch, or at least if you're on the live branch, 1.5 will probably be out very soon now. They did say before Christmas. So yes, you may find that the Xenon are better at flying. That's not necessarily a good thing if you're used to just shooting them into pieces, but yeah, it's something that's an improvement for the rest of us. And they've also fixed pirate ships trying to plunder in highways. That's the other one that I can see out of the patch notes. Otherwise, just a lot of miscellaneous stuff that was already in beta 1. Again, if you want to know what the patch notes are, in the last episode, check the description. There is a link there across to the Egosoft forums where it shows all of these notes, and there are something like 60 fixes, or 50-60 fixes now in the 1.5 patch. So that should be out soon. All right, so let's just check that factory again, and let's just see whether you've got any buy orders now. I doubt it will, but let's have a look. Nope, nothing yet. So I'm going to assign a builder anyway, because I know how to fix the problem anyway. And let's just choose a Paranid one, because hopefully that'll be closer. I'm not going to go look where that is, but we've assigned a Paranid construction vessel and confirm. And now if we go back in at some point soon, we should start seeing orders here available. Advanced electronics, energy cells, hull parts and turret components. Fair enough. So the turret components are in here. It's just that previously the builder hasn't waited for them to come in before starting to construct things, I think, and then that causes problems later on. In any case, let's leave that alone and let's head on with the rest of the episode. And first of all, at the advice of several people who were viewing last episode, I removed that modification to the engine, and that's something you have to do if you swap engines, which is what I did. Swap to the combat engines, which are actually much nicer. They start boosting faster. You can go straight into travel mode faster, it seems. Just all around nicer, other than top speed when you're in travel mode. So it's not quite as fast when I'm in this mode now, but otherwise it's pretty handy. And it didn't look like, I may have been mistaken, but it didn't look like there was any downside in dismantling the engine modification. So I may just be able to refit the modification back to this engine instead. In any case, let's come to full stop. And where do I need to go? So you go here. We're just going to go across to a trading station. I just want to check a few things, but yep, this is pretty good. Yeah, well that's no good. I could have gotten them myself. Okay, never mind. And let's go into travel mode and sort that out. So what are we going to go over this episode? Well, I think I want to give a try at boarding something. It's not something I've really done other than an abandoned ship, and I actually want to try it for a ship that isn't so much abandoned. So why don't we give that a try this episode and we'll see how far we get. Also, we'll see how easy it is to finish off the build of that 8 million credit space station. It might be nice if they get more and more, although 8 million credits is nothing to shake a stick at. And one quick note, I must have forgotten to hit the confirm button in that station build, unfortunately. Bit of a mistake by me. And I can't seem to remove this builder again to test whether these were reservations would have come up without the builder. Anyway, I've assigned it money now. There was literally a confirm button I missed, I think. And it does now have enough money to actually buy everything, including the turret components. But we haven't seen those pop up as yet anyway. So again, I'll shepherd this one and get it to work. Hopefully we'll see those credits soon. Other thing I did get a suggestion of from a couple of viewers was the Argon ship. We're going to buy probably a couple of escorts, at least one or two. And if we have a look over here in the Antigone Memorial system, there is an Antigone Memorial Argon Wharf. So if we go in here and click Buy Ships, there is a small ship in here which is pretty nice, the Pulsar Vanguard. Lots of people are recommending it. So this is a heavy fighter. So obviously a small ship, but if we have a look in weapons, it has 6 slots. This thing probably is paper thin, but yeah, so why don't we just select the loadout? So let's go for the high preset, and that's 2.9 million. That's way too high. It's really how many turrets does it doesn't even have turrets, so it doesn't really need crew specifically, but I guess we can leave those on board. And more importantly, we can remove the deployables. It tends to be that builds up some amount of money. What is it that's building up 2.7 million? Let's have a look. So combat engine, wow, it has 3 engines. 3 combat engines. And 6 bolt repeater Mark IIs. Yes, that's rather expensive. I don't think I want that right now, but I do actually want that later on. But for the time being, if we buy... Whoops, engines. Yeah. If we buy the Mark II engines... And if we go to the weapons and go with Mark 1s rather than Mark 2s, 6 of the things, down to 1 million, okay. Thrusters, we can save some money on this as well, because remember, fighters are not going to be terribly good. Let's go with the combat Mark 1s. Shield generators, let's go with the Mark 2s. And let's just make sure we are as cheap as possible. I don't think I'm going to actually switch to these, so we can go with the cheapest option. Basic scanner. Stands 665. Let's save that loadout as budget fighter. Okay, and save it new. And why don't we add that to the shopping list, and let's just buy another one. So confirm the order, and we should get 2 Pulsar Vanguards. Yep, there they are at the bottom of the screen. They're in training. So, well, not training, in construction. They should get a captain automatically. Hopefully they are okay, but we'll see that once that finishes. Now, another suggestion I got from people was saying you could use these training ships. Remember, I gave them manual trades to do. At least they've stopped doing that now because they've fulfilled the trades. But I could get them to work for my stations instead. Now, if you remember, I already assigned some stuff to Greyhome, and which is the player HQ, and to the food ration complex. I've got a couple of ships assigned to it. Subordinates, if you open those menus, you'll see I've got what was an ice miner. It's going trading at the moment. And then a trade ship, which is just waiting in Argon Prime. So it certainly isn't needed otherwise. Let's have a look. Information. You have some energy cells and silicon wafers. Fair enough. And more importantly, what star rating is your captain? You're 3. So if I take you and remove assignment here, it should pop out of there and pop back into the main listing. And then we can go and take something that is definitely a level 2. Let's have a look in you. I think it's the level 2. Captain. Yep, you're only a level 2. We'll go and get that guy, still selected, to work for this. So, trading for that. And what was that? Was that some kind of notification? Oh, it was just assigned subordinate. Fine. Yeah, it's just one of the submissions you get automatically. And we'll do the same thing with train 2. We'll assign that to, let's see, subordinates. Yeah, so why don't we assign it to you and trading 4. And then we'll take this one and remove assignment. Okay, so I now should end up with 2 extra traders. And let's have a look, see what you are. So number 1, you're 4-star. Good. So if we just then reassign them as normal, I'm going to need to add all the various wares, aren't I? That's an unfortunate part of it. So just as a brief reminder, auto trade, and then we add wares, and then it's a matter of just adding the ones in here that you want. In my case, I'm just going to add anything that sounds reasonably technological, and avoid. I'm going to avoid probably Claytronics, but avoid any food wares, stuff like that. You know, basic essentials that can be dealt with by other people, and we'll go from there. Alright, and a bit of combat, why not? Can we actually right-click you and scan? Scan mode is not enabled. Or gonna go into scan mode. Fine. Scan mode it is. Can we scan? Too far away. Okay. Boost to my combat engines should get us a lot closer. Too close. Too close. Hi. Now we're matching target speed and scan. There we go. That should put that information into the encyclopedia, hopefully. And yeah, I'm not too convinced we can actually get you to board you. They look very, very small. But if we have a look at our Cerberus Vanguard, and I've got it selected, can we actually tell you to board? Let's have a look. No, nothing at the moment, so that's fine. Let's just get rid of you, shall we? Yep, those guns, once you actually hit, yeah, just eat through the shields of these little tiny fighters. The main thing I'm actually looking for here is loot, basically, to stop turning and just fall over. Awaiting orders. If you're wondering who just killed that craft, that was Ace. What a guy. It was Ace because I'd assigned the Cerberus to be our wingman. Now, if you're wondering how you actually do that, if you go into your... Ooh, there's another raiding party there. We'll actually just start guiding start object. But if we go into property owned and left click on any object, any ship, right click on us, and then you can then, in fact, let's just disassemble this wing, and then we can Let's remove the assignment. There we go. So you click on the left click on the ship that is going to be the wingman. Right click on the leader, and then you assign a default role like defend.
Thanks for your help.
That'll put them into a wing, and then you can right click on the leader of the wing, or indeed the wing itself in the fleets menu, and you can basically tell the wing to do certain things. Withdraw and hold, withdraw from combat, stop and hold fire. In this case, the ship is there for the purposes of defending mine, so it should use its guns to shoot at things that are shooting at me. So think of it like extended turrets in that case. And, oh look. Yeah, well, I'm going to have a look at you. I'll just boost over there. And these combat engines are much nicer for boosting. And, hello? Hello? Yeah, they've noticed me. But these guns are really rather good. And what have we got for loot? Container. Now, in particular, what I'm looking for here are components for SETA. S-E-T-A. Now, it's in the previous game. We had SETA by default, but we don't have it in this one. So if we go into our inventory, there we are, you'll see we can get a few things. Let's just have a look in the encyclopedia for AGI processor. It's illegal to pretty much everyone because it's used to craft security slicers, which again is probably illegal as well. So I should discard that unless there's any reason to. Let's drop that. And security slicer, yeah, we don't have that. Now, one thing I did pick up is this programmable field array. If you go to the encyclopedia for that, you'll see it's one of the components used to craft SETA. So we're going to want that. And if we have a look at the others, the elite that we're actually looking for is a damaged singularity engine, a flux capacitor. I slipped and hit my head on the sink, and when I came to, I decided to make something that can manipulate time, like SETA. Yes, there aren't any references in here whatsoever. And a programmable field array. Okay, so we've got one of the three, but we need the other two, and they are going to come from drops as far as I know. But yeah, that's worthwhile going for. Maybe the singularity engine is on a particularly rare Xenon craft. Haven't seen it yet, but I'll let you know if I do. The other thing to know, if you click on the wing itself, you should be able to right click and then set the formation of the wing. Now, there are huge numbers of formations, and some of them require actually high rated star ratings. Now, I don't know of any particular benefit to any of these. However, since they're basic on star ratings, we should probably assume that the higher ones are maybe better. So why don't we go for point guard, and we'll see what that actually does. Now, if I just get out of the menu for a second, you'll see if I go into F2 mode, and if I basically revolve around the ship, we should be able to see Ace around somewhere, hopefully. Where is he? Is he right in front of us? He is right in front of us. So yeah, he's acting as sort of a point guard, I guess, in front of the ship. Now, of course, you could set him behind you and stuff like that. It just really depends on who's the leader of the wing and which one you choose. So if anyone's aware of any particular formations that are better than others, then let me know. But otherwise, yeah, I suppose it's up for you, really. Obviously, they'll make more sense once you have more than two ships. It's very hard to see a V shape with just two ships. It's more like a line, really, than a V. And with Ace's help, with a number of Xenon and Kark and Scale Plate Pact, we've managed to get a fair amount of loot. Now, getting back here over to the crafting bench just to show you one of them, I did get some Spacefly eggs, but not enough to craft the Spacefly caviar. It's a gift, you give it to the Taladi, I think, a Taladi trader, and it sells for 1 million each, which is pretty good if you can get the Spacefly eggs. Now, I've just not been lucky enough to actually show you it being sold, but you get the idea. If you see them drop, you can craft them. And of course, you can sell them individually for 84,000 if you want to. I've got 8 of them, so, you know, we could get... well, in fact, it may not even be worthwhile making the Spacefly caviar that much, in that we can sell 640,000 worth as it is. Oh no, that's the total price. They're 10,000 each. I was looking at the wrong thing. Never mind. Yeah, so definitely craft the Spacefly caviar. Now, all the things that we can craft in here, you can see interface units decryption modules and AGI processors and that security slicer are all illegal, so just be aware that you may get your reputation removed or lowered if you have those. Same thing with the decryption system, and same thing with the bypass system. So when I get these modules, I tend to dump them. If you want to play a more illegal sort of approach, well, feel free. And there is what I mentioned before. We got CETA, we need the flux capacitor, and the damage singularity engine. Otherwise, I think it's on to mods. Now, I did have a viewer saying that the advanced weapon chambers and the exceptional ones seem to them more common than the basic ones. To me, not so much so. So when you're looking for the mods to actually install, you may want to think about looking at the version 2 and version 3. In my case, yeah, not so much. I've only got the basic versions. So I've already got a damage mod, as you saw last episode, installed on one of the turret, on one of the bolts. And it was just the first damage mod. Yeah, I don't think, is there any difference? No. Although, yeah, the first one is guaranteed weapon damage, but has a side effect. So if you install that one, you may have problems. The first one, of course, is lower damage increase, but no side effects. So it's all positive. Unfortunately, I don't have any of the drops today for the weapons. And do we have anything for the turrets? No, they're also the basic weapon chambers. And the Albion Skunk, great. Nothing for shields, unfortunately, but engines we should have something. Now remember, last episode I installed a mod on the previous engine, but we've changed over to the medium combat engine. So do we have any of the exceptional or advanced? No, we don't. We should have, yeah, engine fuel injectors. So again, we can do the same thing. However, this one appears to be pretty good on rotation already. So you see we have 2 forward thrust mods here. I assume that's the same thing. One will, yeah, the first one will give us only positive. The second one will give us a negative as well. Or at least up to 2 more properties. It doesn't say what those are. So it's sort of random chance, I assume. I don't really need the travel mods. I don't really need strafe, although we can add just positive strafe if we wanted to. So it might seem useful to have either boost or forward thrust. Why don't we just go for forward thrust? There we go. So 6.64%. Okay, and well, no paint modifications. And that will do for now. Unless there's anything in chassis. Oh, we do have something in chassis. Yeah, so countermeasure capacity, not really. I'd like to either have, yeah, so ship mass goes down, so presume that makes us more maneuverable. No negatives. Drag? There shouldn't be any drag in space. There shouldn't be any drag in space. Keep repeating it. And then the rest is, yeah, various other stuff. So either we can add some maximum hull, reduce our mass, so you could add hull and reduce mass to bring yourself back around to about the same, but probably more maneuverable, or indeed deal with drag. So I think we'll do the same thing. I'm going to add some maximum hull, and unfortunately I'm out of the Nvidium crystallite. Next time I will, well, when I get some more of it, I will do this mass mod to basically reduce the mass of the ship and bring us back again. But for now, that's fine. In fact, let me just test this. Did we get it back? Did we get everything back if we dismantle? Nvidium crystallite. Do we have more than 3? I'll have to have a look. If we had more than 3 to start off with, there's no disadvantage. Sorry, if we had 3 exactly of the Nvidium crystallite before I installed the last one, there's no disadvantage to disassembling. But for now, let's go for this middle one instead. Yep. And there we go. Alright. Done with modifications. Now my Pulsar Vanguards that I bought earlier in the episode still aren't building, which means that station over there on the very edge of space, or at least the very edge of my known space in here Antigone Memorial, just doesn't have the resources. So if we go into the trade settings, turn on trade wares, and zoom in, don't set any kind of ware, just zoom in on the station, you'll see what that particular station actually will buy. So you can see it's buying engine parts, smart chips, advanced electronics, weapon components, and missile components. So clearly, if you are going to do this, the easiest way is to just send stuff out there manually, buy and sell. Now, of course, we do happen to have 3 traders in training. that don't have auto trade yet. So we can go and buy engine parts. So if we just go to wares, add wares engine parts, and add wares smart chips, further down. So this is buying nearly 3,000 of the former and 26,000 of the latter. So if we zoom out, we need to find somewhere where it's sold. So engine parts, 500 credits, and sold for 600. Smart chips 183 and 215. So we could sell, we get our first one in trading to go and buy stuff. So buying this way, and then go and sell it. We want to make sure we sell it back to this station, not anything else. So yeah, I want to make sure we go to this station, and we're going to sell them here. There we go. And you can do the same thing with smart chips to make sure that this station is supplied, and of course then it can start building our fighters. And our 8 million mission is now complete. We're over 10 million now, and that was what we're actually right next to. Here we are. Again, our usual format, just to make sure we have enough storage and enough turrets, and rebuild the turrets as needed to get the mission to complete. And a little constructor, vessel, huge constructor vessel is over there, and finished. So pretty good. And now we could technically do another mission like that and get into capital ships, but I think what I actually are going to need is many more ships, just bringing in more and more profits. In fact, all of those traders appear to be just hanging around Argon Prime, so I think they are also stuck. Now, I did get a suggestion from a viewer saying, yes, instead of dumping their cargo, in fact, let's see what they've got on them. Instead of dumping their cargo, we could reuse, I think, one of these stations that we've got. We've got container storage on them already. They've got Claytronics, which is actually relatively expensive. It's a couple of thousand per unit, and they've got 300 of them. So we don't necessarily want to drop them. So instead, we could tell them all to basically go here, and then in Hitikva's choice, could we get them to transfer wares with that, and tell them all to transfer it all to the station. Confirm. Now that may only affect the first one, but we'll see whether they actually do anything. If they don't, oh no, there goes the first one. So yeah, we may need to actually do this individually, unfortunately, but that's not much of a problem. I think there's choice, yeah, mission 1, transfer wares with, and move it all over. We'll keep that on the station, and then we'll be able to sell that back from the station in future, rather than just dumping it all overboard. So, good suggestion. Very happy to hear it. And they're all now on their way to dump the goods off at our holding station, and hopefully they should resume auto trading. Now, yes, as I was saying, we're probably going to get much more in the way of traders, and also I'm going to slowly start converting over my miners to large miners, and then we can probably sell off these miner 1 through 12s. First of all, they're quite small, but second of all, yeah, they're cluttering up my list. And that's the other thing about these stations. I can't see a way to deconstruct them. If I didn't want this one, for example, I could remove 2 of the station components, you know, the storage, but I can't remove all of them as far as I can see. So, for example, if I go to plan build here, this is the one we built last episode. We can basically right-click, remove, and remove, and remove, but then there's no peer or dock, so plan can't be confirmed without a peer or a dock. So yeah, you'll end up with just a dock left. And I guess you could blow it up, but it's really untidy that we have to have these stations once missions are complete. I want to be able to get rid of them again. I want just the credits. If anyone knows any way to do that, do let me know down in the comments. And just as a suggestion, everyone else has been really good on suggesting things in the comments for other people. Lots of suggestions today from everyone about the Pulsar Vanguards, which are still not building. No, they're not. But my traders are on the way to resupply that. You can see they're executing trades now. And yeah, they're all in Antigone Memorial. So I just need maybe to assign them a couple more things, and we should get our fighters. And of course, then we can assign our fighters back to ourselves to accompany Ace, because he's not terribly good. Or at least he's not terribly fast, put it that way. However, because he's on the Cerberus, he has Marines. So if there is any Xenon that we can capture, and I haven't found any yet, then I would have liked to cover boarding today, but I haven't found any actual Xenon that we can capture. If you can capture it, then surely we will do with the Cerberus, because this ship that we're currently on doesn't have much space. It's pretty much those guns and me on a seat behind them holding down the triggers. And just as the constructor leaves, unfortunately we're out of time today. We're off to about half an hour. The traders are already nicking huge amounts of money. They can already trade quite large amounts if they go for the expensive goods. So yeah, I get 10 million, they take 3 million off me immediately. Anyway, that should be it for today. I hope you liked the episode. Feel free to give it a thumbs up if you have. We'll try and cover boarding soon if I can find a ship that can be boarded. Now, one option for that is the Taladi Pirates. They keep on harassing Trader Number 7. Now, where is Trader Number 7? In Bright Promise. He's not too far away. So somewhere around here, there is a pirate operating. So if we can board it and borrow his ship, then that's another way of us getting ships, of course. The other one is to go and then try and head into Matrix 451 over here and see if there's any ships we can nab that way. If anyone's had any luck boarding Xenon ships, or indeed pirate ships, do let me know in the comments. In earlier games, in X3, particularly in Lit Cube, boarding, not pirating, boarding your enemies, your corporate enemies, was a good way to get large ships. So you can get into capital ships, so M2 in the sort of, the larger ships, let's put it that way, in X3. And if we can do that and save ourselves, 20 million credits, then that's cool with me in X4. But we'll see if we can do that next time. Or maybe something else. We'll see. Alright, thanks a lot for watching, guys. As always, feel free to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter @Gradus if you want notifications that way, or click the bell on YouTube if you want them that way. Either way doesn't really much matter to me. And we'll see you next time for some more X4. As always, guys, thanks for watching.